The topic of this video are date and time functions, and the first thing we need to do is import a few things. So I'm going to import calendar, I'm going to import time, and I'm going to import date, and the way you do that is to say from DateTime import date. Okay, so the first thing we're going to look at is the time.time function, and basically that just returns the number of seconds since January 1, 1970. So we can say ticks is equal to time.time, and then we can go ahead and print this out. So we can say seconds since 1970 and print ticks. And so there you see it gave us a large number. And so that might be useful for you in some context. Now something a little bit more useful is we can get the local time. So we can say local time is equal to time.local time. And what you do is you pass the current time, or not the current time, but that time.time, and then it will figure out the local time from that. So we can say print current time, local time, and what we see is it has a structure here with all the information in it. So has minutes, days, so forth. So you might want to get that in a more useful format. So what we can do is we can say this. We can say local time is equal to time.asc time. I think that means ASCII. And so then we're going to pass this. So I'm just going to copy and paste that in there. And then we can print that out. So now we have the time down here in a more useful format. You know, it prints it out nicely, Friday, July 31st, and so on. Okay, so now here's something neat. I'm going to show you how to get the calendar. So I'm going to say my calendar is equal to calendar.month, and then you pass it what calendar you want. So we'll say 2015 8 for August, and then we can print that out. And you see it prints out a nice formatted calendar for us. So that could be useful. And so now let's get today's date using the calendar. So I'm going to say today's date is equal to date.today, and then we can print that out. And so it gave us a nice formatted date, 2015, July 31st, which is when I'm recording this video. So let's go ahead and erase all this here. And before we go on, I'm going to go on to a couple of functions that are useful for coding, but right now I'm going to add one more calendar function. It's you can check if it's a leap year. And I encourage you to go on the internet and look up in a Python reference the large number of functions that are available. We can't cover them all. So just going to show you some for illustration. So we have calendar.isLeap, and we can pass a year. So I'm going to pass 2016, and then we'll print yes is a leap year. And then we can put an else, print not a leap year. Alright, so we run that, we get yes is a leap year, and to test, let's try 2018. So it says not a leap year. So that could come in handy if you're... Okay, now we're going to look at the sleep function, which is useful for different coding tasks and whenever you need to wait for a certain amount of time to pass. And all you do is you write time.sleep, and then you pass a number of seconds. So we want to wait 2 seconds, you just put time.sleep 2. Alright, so let's go ahead and say print starting at, and I'm going to put a formatted string here, and then put time.ctime, and then we're going to say time.sleep. We'll go 7 seconds, and then we'll say print end time, and then we'll put that time.ctime again. Alright, so let's go ahead and run this. Oh, let me start over. Okay, so I printed the start time, and we got 8 minutes and 38 seconds there. And there you see it went 7 seconds, so it printed 8 minutes and 45 seconds. So that's the sleep function. And now I'm going to show you how to get the processor time, and we're going to use that sleep function in a function of our own. So I'm going to create a function called wait here, and all we're going to do in there is sleep. So I'm going to say time.sleep, and we'll go 4 seconds. Alright, so I'm going to say start time is equal to time.clock, so that gets the computer clock. I'm going to print out what that start time reads, so I'm just going to say start time, and then I'm going to say wait here, and then we're going to get the CPU clock again, so I'm going to say end time is equal to time.clock, and then we're going to go ahead and print that out. So I'm going to say print end, and then we'll put end time. Let's see. Why doesn't it like that? Invalid syntax. Oh, I have an uppercase P. Let's see if that's it. Okay, so there's our start time. Wait 4 seconds. And that's not the actual time, that's the CPU clock. And so you see the CPU clock printed a different value at the end. So that's just an overview of a few of the date and time functions available with Python. Again, I encourage you to look at a reference to see what all of them are in case you need them. Thanks.